Imagine a world where managing or even reversing type 2 diabetes doesn't require cutting out your favorite foods or living a life of strict, complicated diets. The journey to better health can be simple, achievable, and filled with the foods you love. This isn't about deprivation, but empowerment, understanding how your body works and making small changes that lead to big results. Understanding the epidemic. Type 2 diabetes is a growing global issue, with over 1 billion people either living with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. This rise isn't due to genetics, but largely due to our modern food environment. The foods we eat, rich in sugars and starches, play a significant role in this epidemic. However, there's good news. Type 2 diabetes is not a life sentence. It's a condition that can be influenced, managed, and even reversed with the right approach to eating. Debunking the myths. One of the biggest myths surrounding type 2 diabetes is that it's purely genetic and unchangeable. This simply isn't true. While genetics can play a role, the primary drivers of type 2 diabetes are lifestyle and dietary habits. This is evident from the fact that type 2 diabetes, once known as adult-onset diabetes, is now being diagnosed in children as young as 5. Our genes haven't changed drastically, but our diets and food environments have. Scientific studies also show that even identical twins who share the same DNA may not both develop type 2 diabetes, proving that lifestyle factors have a significant impact. Moreover, countless studies have demonstrated that changing dietary habits can put type 2 diabetes into remission. This means that medication is not the only option. Your diet can be a powerful tool in managing this condition. The science of insulin resistance. To understand type 2 diabetes, it's important to grasp the concept of insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a spectrum, meaning it can vary in severity from person to person. At one end of the spectrum, you have a healthy person with low insulin resistance, while at the other end is someone with type 2 diabetes, where insulin resistance is high. Insulin is a hormone that helps your body manage glucose, the sugar that powers everything from your brain to your muscles. When you eat foods rich in carbohydrates, like bread, pasta, or sweets, your blood sugar levels rise. In response, your body releases insulin to help store that glucose in your liver, muscles, and fat cells. However, when you frequently consume large amounts of these carbs, your body produces more insulin to keep up. Over time, just like building a tolerance to caffeine, your body becomes resistant to insulin. It needs more and more insulin to manage the same amount of glucose. Eventually, this leads to high blood sugar levels, a hallmark of type 2 diabetes. From prediabetes to type 2 diabetes. As insulin resistance increases, your body struggles to maintain normal blood sugar levels. Doctors typically measure this through fasting glucose tests. If your fasting glucose is below 100 mg/dl, you're considered healthy. A level between 100 and 126 mg/dl indicates prediabetes, and anything above 126 mg/dl is classified as type 2 diabetes. It's crucial to address high blood sugar levels because even a small increase can have significant health consequences. Persistent high blood sugar inflames your body, damages cells, and can lead to severe complications, including heart disease, nerve damage, and even amputations. Reversing the trend, the good news is that by reducing insulin resistance, you can lower your blood sugar levels and even reverse type 2 diabetes. The key is to give your body less glucose to process. This doesn't mean cutting out all carbs, but learning how to eat them in a way that minimizes glucose spikes. A fundamental first step is to be mindful of the types of carbohydrates you're consuming. Foods high in starches and sugars, such as bread, pasta, and sweets, are the main culprits behind glucose spikes. By adjusting your diet to include more proteins, fats, and fibers, which do not cause glucose spikes, you can significantly reduce your insulin resistance. For example, swapping a breakfast of toast with jam and orange juice, a meal packed with carbs, for a breakfast of soft-boiled eggs and tea, can make a big difference in your glucose levels. It's not about eliminating foods you love, but about balancing your meals to prevent those harmful glucose spikes. Proven success. Recent studies, including a 2021 review, have shown that diets focused on flattening glucose curves, avoiding those sharp spikes, are highly effective in putting type 2 diabetes into remission. In fact, more than 57% of participants in one study observed diabetes remission within just 6 months by following a low-carbohydrate diet. Even major health organizations are starting to recognize the importance of managing glucose spikes. The American Diabetes Association, for instance, now endorses diets that help keep glucose levels steady as a viable method for managing and reversing type 2 diabetes. Simple hacks for big results. There are simple, scientifically backed strategies that can help you manage your glucose levels effectively without drastic lifestyle changes. These strategies have been tested by thousands of people with impressive results. For example, one simple tip is to have a savory breakfast instead of a sweet one. Another is to add a small amount of vinegar to your meal, which can help lower your blood sugar levels. Starting your meal with vegetables and going for a short walk after eating are also easy ways to keep your glucose levels in check. These hacks are not about restrictive diets or expensive products. They are practical, easy to implement changes that fit into your everyday life. By incorporating just a few of these strategies, you can see significant improvements in your glucose levels and overall health. Real-life transformations. These simple changes have made a profound impact on many people's lives. For instance, in a study where 3,000 participants followed these glucose hacks for just 4 weeks, 41% of those with type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance saw significant improvements in their condition. One participant was able to lower their HbA1c, a long-term measure of blood sugar, from 9.6% to 4.7% within 4 months, and even reversed their diabetes diagnosis. Others reported needing less insulin, feeling more energetic, and experiencing improved moods, all from implementing these straightforward dietary changes. Empowerment through knowledge. The most important takeaway is that type 2 diabetes is not something you're helpless against. It's not solely determined by your genetics, nor is it an inevitable part of aging. You have the power to influence your health through the choices you make every day. By understanding how your body processes glucose and how simple changes can reduce insulin resistance, you can take control of your health. These hacks are designed to be easy, practical, and most importantly, sustainable. They don't require you to give up the foods you love, but instead help you enjoy them in a way that supports your health. Start your journey today. If you or someone you know is living with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, now is the time to take action. It doesn't have to be overwhelming or complicated. Start with 1 or 2 hacks and see how they make you feel. As you begin to notice improvements, you can build on that momentum and make more changes at your own pace. Remember, reversing type 2 diabetes is not just about avoiding certain foods. It's about learning how to live in harmony with your body. It's about making choices that nourish and sustain you. You have the ability to change your health story, and it can start with something as simple as your next meal. If you like the content, subscribe, and if you want to share something interesting, write a comment under the video. See you in good health.